Hello, hello, hello. Let me explain something. First of all, I'm Rosville. This is Lions Late Night episode 21. Right now, I'm pissed off. Explain to you why I'm pissed off, and it has nothing to do with professional wrestling. I set out to do this recording for this episode, which is going to be pretty brief. Time is 11:35 p.m. PDT, Pacific Daylight Time. I started this whole process at about 9:45, 10 o'clock, somewhere in there. And this whole entire time, I've had to go into OBS and try to reconfigure my sound settings, which still sound weird in my headphones, but it's recording. We're at the desktop music for the intro, recording my microphone finally. So, as weird as it sounds like there's an echo in my headphones, get right because it's finally working. So, let's get to it. I thought about what I was going to title this episode, and I think it's fitting to go with one of those age old sayings: wherever you go, there you are. And this is in reference to the NWA's latest news, the exciting news as you see here. Breaking news: strikes streaming deal with Roku. Um, Looks good, sounds good. TV deal sounds better, looks better because it is better. Go to a channel when we're talking about traditional broadcast TV. This is not that streaming channel through the Roku app. And word is that the latest episodes of Powerrr, NWA Powerrr, will be streamed later this month, 25th. I may be wrong. What did it say? I don't have the information pulled up, but I believe it's the 25th of the month. And that's cool. That's great. That's good news. But there's a few negatives to it. One of the negatives is that there is no word on if the new episode that are going to air, if we're ever going to get caught up and bring down the delay time between recordings and when we see the episode. Right now, for anybody who watches the National Wrestling Alliance, you're well aware we don't get to see some of these matches and these signature events for 2 to 3 months after it occurred, which means recent Crockett Cup, which garnered all that buzz from WrestleMania weekend, it's gone. It's already dissipated. It's gone. The energy that was there that could have been picked up and rolled, something just amazing, that ship has sailed. It doesn't matter what we get to if it's good and we get up to that point because we're still going to be 3 months behind. So that's a negative. TV taping, that's a negative. Two, international streaming. So you're still gonna have to do the magic trick with the VPN to go around and get to the Roku if you're overseas to watch the latest episodes. Now, there's no word on if any of these things are going to be still streamed on YouTube, but I have an answer for that. I'll get to that. But as it stands, no, everything will be switching from X over to the Roku app. Now, I did a little research, very quick, very surface. But this evening I did take a little time and went into the search engine and I looked. What is the scheduling for the Roku Sports Channel? Because let's face it, the NWA by itself, regardless of what you see on the event pictures, highlights, nice crowd, and all that good stuff, the NWA is still not that big of a draw as it stands right now. No one's on a massive level seeking and searching out the NWA like that. If you're a hardcore fan, or if you happen to come across it, or if there happens to be a booking, big name talent people are familiar with, it gets the eyes, just like we just saw with the Crockett Cup. The Natty being there, with Rhino being there, challenging for the 10 pounds of gold, right? But it is what it is with the NWA. There's still thousands upon thousands of people who don't know that the NWA is in existence. They don't know that there's a weekly show. They don't know who the champions are. They have no idea because they don't know that it even exists. So, it being a draw by itself for people seeking out going to who are not current viewers of the program, a little down there, right? That's just the reality of it. Hardcore fans that have been watching, they're going to watch it and hopefully spread the word. And 2 or 3 people here and there amongst the current fans will jump on, at least watch it for a few episodes, make their decision. And unfortunately, back to the title, wherever you go, there you are. I'll get to the schedule first. So it's my understanding that they're going to be in a 7 o'clock time frame. I believe that's what it said. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, I very briefly went over this information. I just know for sure Roku, new episodes of Powerrr. But the schedule on Roku Sports Channel, it'd be one thing if NWA Powerrr was streaming after Eisen show, right? Well known, pretty known sports show, sports talk show. But that's, as far as I know, is not happening. Powerrr is going to be in a time slot where it has to fend for itself. It has nothing before and nothing after going to pull in viewers like some other shows that we see on cable TV or even regular network TV. NWA is going to have to do a lot of footwork with their marketing to get people to go and watch them on the Roku app, on the Roku Sports Channel. I was looking tonight, and the scheduling was Bass Pro Fishing. It was Kevin Hart's car show with his writing team. And then it was some gambling shows for like the rest of the night, all through the early morning. That's the kind of programming that's currently on the Roku Sports Channel. To my knowledge, there's no baseball game streamed on that channel. There's no pro football of any kind on that channel. I don't know if soccer's there or anything like that, or boxing, to the best of my knowledge. No. That all those sports are separate, on demand, live, separate from the Roku Sports Channel. So you see where I'm going with that. This is going to come down to the NWA doing a lot of marketing, and if this deal is not just a rev share, if this deal is a little bit more than that, we don't know the details, perhaps Roku is willing to foot some of that bill to get the eyes onto this show. We don't know that. We won't know the details, just like we didn't know the details about the CW until they got the boot and NXT came in. So that's unfortunate. Another thing that comes back to that good old saying, wherever you go, there you are. It's exciting to see, just like you saw on my graphic here. I'll switch back real quick. The Roku Sports Channel. It looks official. Like MLW and I can't think of the network off the top of my head right now. It'll come to me a little bit later. But the channel affiliations that they had and the way that their advertisements looked, it was real appealing. It looked professional. It looked like, look at us. We're being distributed in all these different places. We're somebody. So it's a good look. It's a very good look. But once people get to the channel, when they can find it, when they figure out how to find it, when they remember what day it's going to be on, and they get there, nothing will have changed with the production. Nothing will have changed with the booking. You would like to think that when they get onto this channel that it's going to be a whole new ball game. But in actuality and in factuality, I don't know if that's a word or not, it's going to be the exact same programming as what we're seeing right now. That's a problem. As it stands right now, I've watched 1 out of the last 3 weeks of NWA Powerrr because I have no interest. It's not appealing to me. It's bad booking, and they're trying to figure out what their identity is when the NWA identity has already been made. All you have to do is reference the blueprints. All you have to do is go back in the archives. Nobody's saying copy and be carbon copies of what was, but the foundation was already there. All you have to do is study it and expound on it. But that's not happening. I'm not saying that the talent is bad because I don't feel that way. The booking is bad. You can have all the talent in the world. You could be the best singer. You could be the best rapper. You could be the best amateur freestyle wrestler. If you have no proper coaching and you have no proper guidance, it reflects in your output. And that's the NWA right now. Factors do I feel come into play with this? Corgan's still going to be on commentary for the unforeseen future. Is a negative. He's just not good on commentary. Just like right now, I'm not that great of a wrestler. I'm learning that in my training. I have a long ways to go, but I'm willing to admit that. Other people aren't willing to admit their shortcomings. Unfortunate because first impressions for those that are out there who don't know that the NWA exists right now, for those who absolutely have no clue that this is even a thing now, they're going to catch wind of this. Roku is doing this spill, it's PR stuff, whatever, to get the word out. And people who used to watch the NWA 30 years ago, oh, oh man, I didn't even know they were around. Let me go check that out. I remember when Dusty and Dick Murdoch and Nikita Koloff and, all those good old favorites, right? And they're going to arrive to watch the show to see what they're going to see. Again, not the wrestlers. I talking about the booking. We hope for the best, but every time we get into a situation with the NWA where there's this promising, exciting news, just like with the CW, and we just don't get the ball into the hoop. We don't get to the free throw line. We don't drive to the hole. We don't crash the boards. You get my analogy? And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because I am at the point where I'm excited for this news, but I don't watch. This last episode I checked out, I watched probably about 2/3 of it. I have no intent on watching the next one. I don't have anything to look forward to. Carson Drake with 2 titles? Are you kidding me right now? Kidding me right now. Tyler Shute, the best promotion in the NWA territory is Exodus Pro. And I can't wait till they get their own show. Their monthlies that they're doing, or bi-monthly events, nice. Digging it. We need more of it. I don't know. I just I just don't know. Now, there was a conversation that was going on, and I was in the chat for the Alliance blog. And this has been ongoing conversation since the announcement of this show, right? And one of the things that was brought up that could help push the numbers, push the viewership for this show is if the NWA really began to utilize and push and build the territories and the talent in the territories. One of those suggestions, which has been something I suggested with the whole line of people, is that along with Powerrr, the NWA reintroduces NWA USA. With NWA USA, you have the opportunity to highlight all the territories, all the hot talent in the territories, so that we can begin to see those talents work their way up the rank to go to Powerrr to create feuds. If there's people climbing up the ranks and the viewership gets to see that, the viewership gets to form an opinion. Oh, I would like to see this guy go against this guy. I think this champion over here in JCP is better than the national champion on Powerrr. Why doesn't he go after the national title? We're getting little pieces of it, but we have to go seek it out. It's not delivered to where we don't have to think about it. We have to set aside our time to go watch World League Wrestling, set aside the time to go watch JCP, set aside the time to go watch Exodus Pro, set aside the time to go catch up with Crossfire, who just within the last month, I believe, started their YouTube channel. We have to get caught up on what's going on in New Mexico, NWA Chicago, NWA Texas, as where if you have one show highlighting the best matches from each one of those territories, along with maybe an interview of whoever's right behind them, you've consolidated all your efforts into one show. Now, from there, people are going to go and they're going to seek out those other territory shows. But at least they will not miss the most important key factors going on in each one of those promotions. The other part that would be smart, I'm not the booker, I don't own my own company. Maybe one day I will. Maybe one day I will. Just just like when I got into DJing solely out of I don't like the way other people are doing it, so I'll go do it myself. But the rotation of championships on the shows. We have these belts. We have these titles. But unfortunately, the booking is bad, so we're not seeing enough of these titles being defended, these championship belts being defended on these shows. Traditionally, the television championship is weekly defended or every other week. Now we have the national championship. Even if it's not on the line, it should still appear on TV and be magnified and glorified and held up high and elevated. That's what we're supposed to do for us to be excited for somebody to have it and to be excited when somebody challenges for it. But it's not what's happening. Not what's happening. So we could break it down in such a way to where we can have these championships spread evenly. Now, bear with me for just a moment. I'm going through my Facebook where I made a post breaking this down Way I feel like it should be broke down anyway. But again, whatever. Who am I? Who am I? So here's how I would break it down so that we can have a system that works up to making NWA Powerrr on Roku worth watching going into the future. Granted, we get to a point where we shorten the wait time between episodes. So, championships per show. NWA Powerrr on Roku. World Championship, mostly non-title matches, just like in traditional NWA programming. Women's World Championship, all the same model. NWA National Heavyweight, bi-weekly, mostly, or maybe every 3 weeks there's a championship defense. Or if they were to book correctly, we would always be working up to a signature event. But that's not the way it's been happening. So, get with it. NWA World's Tag Team Championship at least bi-weekly. Appearing on the show, defending, interviewing, talking, whatever. Basically sparking an interest for those championship belts, making them important, making them matter. NWA USA, which could be a show that could be streamed on YouTube so that the international crowd is not left out. As far as I understand, which I don't understand because I don't know the deal at hand, I don't really know. Everybody else, I don't. What the deal with Roku consists of. So we don't know if anything's exclusive. Could be. Find out. But if I were the booker, if I was the one in charge, NWA USA would have the NWA Mid American Championship defended bi-weekly. Right? Just like your television champion would be weekly or bi-weekly over on the main show, Powerrr. You have NWA Television Championship Women's, at least bi-weekly. These are the workhorse championship belts. These are supposed to be on TV. These are supposed to be your miniature main events, if you would, right? I don't mean to minimize it, but you get my point. If there's possibility of a championship changing hands, that's a draw. The NWA US Tag Team Championships at least once a month because they're also being defended outside of outside of Powerrr, and they would be defended out NWA USA. Then the NWA Junior Heavyweight Championship at least once a month, and that could always change depending on, what's going on, who's beefing with who, and is it important for the championship to be on the line, or is it more important for Dub? These are all things. These are all factors that play into what could be with NWA Powerrr being on the Roku channel. It's a chain of command. It's levels. It's levels. It's really not hard. But unfortunately, when I think about the NWA right now, and when I think about what's been happening, it's a lack of understanding. It seems like there's more of a lot of stuff going on. It's not really going anywhere to say, hey, look, we're doing all this stuff. But it's not a lot of stuff being done correctly. It's unfortunate. This is why I'm not really watching the show right now. I don't want to continuously watch and then I do my little podcast, my low numbers, little circle of people watching, right? And it comes across like I'm bashing the NWA, when in actuality, what I'm doing is I'm saying, hey, look, have you guys thought about this? Does anybody ever say, hell no, we're not doing this, this is corny? No, we're not going to do that. They're going to think we're clowns. No, nobody's going to take us serious if we do this. No, we shouldn't do that because it doesn't look good, and if it doesn't look good, we should just stay away from it. Now, what could we do to make us look good instead of that? Does everybody just say, okay? There's a lot of people in the NWA with a lot of experience. Does everybody just want to be on the episodes and be on tape and just going with the flow? But anyway, I'm at my 26-minute mark. I want to do 25. I don't really have a lot more to say other than I hope, I won't wish, I hope that the NWA and the powers that be have a real sit down and the real comes out and there's a breakthrough. Because you got knocked on CW. You got knocked. You got knocked by the biggest players probably in the world when it comes to professional wrestling. Got bumped. Now here you are with a second opportunity. You're here with a second opportunity. You can't keep doing more the same. You have to shine. You got to break through. Wrestling as it's meant to be, tradition. Check the archives. Check the archives. What works, works, and what doesn't, does not. Unnecessary 3 ways? No. 4 ways? Only if they're eliminations. Determining all your belts that way doesn't make sense. Unnecessary 1 against 2 to prove what? Your women's champion and a 1 against 2 to make the other 2 look weak and to make her look like what? Like she's Brock? Or the Undertaker in his young days? I mean, like, what were we doing? Booking matters. And when I'm doing these things, I try to stay away from saying certain words and certain phrases because I'm not an insider and I'm tired of the people who are not in the business talking these terms and using these terms. I want to see good guys against bad guys with a story that makes sense and it's done in a fashion that's over time that makes me want to pay attention. And when we get to the big match, I am excited for it to happen, and I'm excited at the conclusion. Whether I like the winner or the loser doesn't matter. I want to be vested because it made sense all the way through. That's all we need, and then you win. That's all we need, and then you win. And then the deal that you have with Roku, fine. So, until next time, I'm Rosville. This is Alliance Late Night, episode 21. It's late. I'm tired. I'm beat up from wrestling training. Yes, I'm training to be a wrestler so I can go punch Ricky the Renegade Rebel in the face in NWA New Mexico. Right in his face. Day to day, you know, trying to pull it together, to take this thing to the next level, this podcasting thing. Then I get settings, resetting. After I get updates to update, it's just, but I push on. Be on the lookout for news regarding going live on Rumble. I'll be doing some testing. I did a little already, but then my settings messed up. So before I break the computer, I just discontinued that for the moment. But I will be doing some live streaming on Rumble. You can find me on Rumble at Alliance Late Night. You can also find me at Instagram at Alliance Late Night, on X at Alliance LN, and at Facebook at Alliance Late Night. Chase your dreams. Live your dreams with your eyes wide open. If you want to be a professional wrestler, learn it and drop kick somebody in the face for doubting you. I'm out of here.